How did we create deeper connection at Grace Avenue? Well, the year was 2006 and the church was growing. Our first facility was open. Our preschool was growing. Our Sunday schools were growing. All of our ministries were branching out in so many different ways. We had lived through the waves of grace recovery that we had done with Katrina and Rita. And we started thinking about the congregation is getting so big. How do we connect, especially as we're ready to do an annual operating campaign? Well, we came up with this wonderful idea that was called the Pony Express. Do you remember the Pony Express? The idea that one horseback rider carried one bag from another, and that's how the mail got processed. Well, we did the same thing. We divided our congregation up into geographic areas, and every group had a route. And on that route, what we did was we put a card in, we asked them to fill it out and then pass it on to their next neighbor that was on the bag. These are the bags that we actually used. This is the Grace Avenue Express bag. This was route number 25. And it was a wonderful way in which we could be connected to our neighbors. And really, a lot of us got to find out that we had neighbors living in our geographic area that went to Grace Avenue that we had never met before because we were having multiple services and multiple small groups and different kinds of ministry. It was a wonderful way of connection. And in the midst of that first Pony Express campaign, one of the things that we did is that we had a special visitor. A historic Methodist circuit rider came and actually spoke to our congregation one morning. He rode in, yes, on a horse, got off, preached a sermon, got back on that horse, and rode away to the next part of the circuit. That story was covered in our United Methodist Reporter in the annual conference, and it got a little bit of splash because it was a lot of fun, and we had a great creative time with it. But it was a great way to remind us that we're connected. We're all kind of on a circuit. Still today, we all have these connections, and the way in which we make these connections, keep these connections, is the way in which we care for one another. You know, every week we find out about somebody who's got a need in their life. Maybe they are about to have surgery, or maybe they've had a death in their family, or maybe they're just going through a difficult time, or maybe they've had something exciting happen, like there was a baby born into their family, or maybe they are moved into a new house. The way we find out about that back on the staff is because people who are connected let us know those things. We've got things like social media now. We didn't have that back in 2006. But today, we have those things to remind us that one of the most important things is point-to-point connection, just like the good old Pony Express.